Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be doing my Team of the Year vote, and I will pledge that I will not be biased throughout this and not pick all the Bayern players, and I will do my best to try and stick players in their actual positions. Because, for example, if we were doing Team of the Season so far, 3 strikers would probably be in the attack. That's Haaland, Kane, and Mbappe. But we're going to try our best not to do that on the Team of the Year vote. I actually want to get players in their position. And to kick things off, we have the goalkeeper picks. For me, I think there was a very, very clear standout. Some people might go for Raya because of Arsenal's defensive record in the Premier League, but I think Donnarumma has had far more big game performances. Won the treble with PSG. Yes, I know the Ligue 1 isn't as strong, but won the Champions League, was crucial in them winning the Champions League as well, especially in the tie against Arsenal. I think even Arteta said they only won because of their goalkeeper. Interesting statement. And even since he's come in at Man City, he has been very good. Considering how many chances they give up compared to Arsenal, since he's come in, their defensive record has been very, very good and similar to Arsenal's without having as good of a defence. For me, it's very clearly Donnarumma in net. And we're going to go with the defence now. And I haven't looked at all the nominees, so just give me a moment. Okay, the most obvious one here for me is Mensch. I think he's clearly been the best left back in the world. Last season, this season, the year. No one gets close to him. And I think after the season he had with PSG and what he did for Portugal in the Nations League, I think he is really cementing himself as one of the greatest left backs of all time. Fullbacks are a position that have traditionally not been a very high valued position in football. I mean, like, you can look at your Sunday league teams. Half the time it's just, you just chuck someone out there. With Mensch, I think he's got the perfect balance of being good going forward and good defensively. He might not be as great of a ball player as Trent or something like that, but whipping the ball in, shooting, pace, taking on players, 1v1 defending, I think he really does have it all. He's also very strong, which is why I think in the future, if he keeps going on this trajectory, he could get into those GOAT left back debates. I'm not saying he's there yet, but I can certainly see it. I don't think anyone can complain with him being in at left back. If he doesn't get a Team of the Year card, you could argue he would be the most robbed player if he didn't get one. You can argue any other position. I don't think any left back comes close to him this year. Now, for our 2 centre backs, Pacho's in for a shout. Van Dijk's in for a shout. I know people have been clowning him for a period this season, but I think he's really been the only shining light in Liverpool's defence. Those games where they were winning and the first few games where they were losing, he was their best player in my opinion. Then he had a slightly bad spell, but we can't disregard everything he did last season. And I know that Liverpool sort of dropped off towards the end of last season, but I don't think that was Van Dijk dropping off. I just think they were hungover from winning the Premier League. Obviously, the 2 Arsenal boys are in for a shout as well, but I think for me, I'm going to go with Gabriel and Van Dijk. I know I clicked them in the opposite order there, so that makes no sense, but for me, these were the 2 best centre-backs. Gabriel scored a fair few goals for Arsenal. I don't know the stats off the top of my head for the calendar year, but we know him from set pieces. Even him just being there is such a threat. Heading it down for someone else. Like, I don't really like watching Arsenal's games that much. A lot of that is because they win the games, but it's because they play for set pieces quite often, kicking the ball into plays for corners, which is completely fair, by the way. It's just not entertaining. I don't think there's a problem with it. I'm just not entertained by it. But yeah, the other part of that is that they can go into, not necessarily a low block, but they can go defensive if they want. And Gabriel, for me, was the best at defending for them over the calendar year. You could very easily say Saliba's better, but I still think I would go Gabriel. And now we get to right back. And the nominees here, we've got Dumfries, Koundé, Llorente, I'm not even going to consider him. Ratu had a decent season. I know he completed a lot of dribbles, but I'm not going to act like I know everything about him. And then that's kind of it for the right-back nominees. We've only got Koundé and Dumfries. And do I really think either of them deserve a Team of the Year card? I know I was going to be very strict with positions, and I was going to try and put everyone in their positions, but does Dumfries' games against Barcelona really warrant him getting a Team of the Year card? Oh, I really don't know about that. So I might have to pick another centre-back, which I know is a little bit boring. You probably would rather have a Dumfries or a Koundé card on the game. Koundé as well, like, he was great last season. He's been good so far this season. Realistically, Pacho had a better year than both of them, and so did Saliba. I'm going to be boring and pick a third centre-back. I'm going to go with Pacho. He was, for me, the best PSG centre-back. He was better than Marquinhos. I know Marquinhos is the captain. He's been there longer. Pacho was sort of an unknown force before he joined PSG at Frankfurt. Maybe only career mode people knew about him. And me, because I'm not normal. But yeah, I think he deserves that spot in the team of the year. He was the third best centre-back, and he was better than the right-back options. So we're going to break the rules a bit there and go with someone out of position. And speaking of out of position, I'm seeing wingers put down as midfielders for this year's team of the year. That changes a lot, because Lamine Yamal probably deserves to be in there, but as a midfielder, even Salah's in there. I wouldn't go for Salah. Okay, best midfielder in the world. Although they only won the league and the cup, where is he? Surely he was not. Yeah, I'm going to go with Pedri. Best midfielder in the world. That was his best season yet. Has to be in there for me. Now, here is where it gets a little bit difficult. I'm looking at Vitinha. I'm looking at João Neves. I'm looking at Kimmich, and I'm doing my best not to be biased, so I'm not going to put him in. If it was just for the season, last season, Kimmich is in there for me. But for the calendar year, he's been good at the start of the season for Bayern, but I don't think he was immense. I don't think he's been as immense as he was last season. And in some of the Champions League ties against Inter, for example, I wasn't completely impressed by him, so I'll leave him out and be unbiased. But yeah, I'm looking at two of the PSG boys. I'm even looking at McTominay. I'm looking at Elise. Oh, why have they put wingers in the midfield? This makes it really difficult. Even Declan Rice. I hate Arsenal, but Declan Rice has been brilliant in 2025. Okay, what are we going to do here? I really don't like the fact that he's been put in here as a midfielder and not as an attacker, but I'm going to have to go with Lamine Yamal. Sorry. I know a lot of people hate on him, but he has to get into this team. I'm sorry. And then we need a third midfielder. Vitinha, João Neves, and McTominay are the three I think I can narrow it down to. I'm going to disregard Olise again. We can't have two right wingers. We can't have three right wingers in team of the year because we're going to have an actual right winger there most likely as well. All I'm saying is though, don't be surprised if Olise is in the team of the year next year, because he has been absolutely brilliant this season so far. I'm going to narrow it down now to João Neves and Vitinha, because although Scott McTominay has been really good for Napoli, got Scotland into the World Cup. I know it wasn't just him, but he was played a pivotal role in getting them there. I have to go between the two PSG boys because, come on, PSG had one of the greatest seasons in the last few years. Vitinha, I feel like, is the better player, but who had the better year? Neves was injured for a bit. We're going to go with Vitinha. And now we're on to the attack. Anthony Iosi Perez, that's crazy. Ronaldo's still nominated. Joker has been so terrible for Arsenal that I don't even think what he did at Sporting can warrant him being nominated. Messi's also nominated. Guys, can we please not nominate Saudi League and MLS players? Thank you very much. Okay. Probably a little bit controversial. Oh, I said I was going to be strict on positions, didn't I? But almost all of these guys are strikers. There's only a few wingers. So I guess I can't be strict on positions. For me, actually, the first name on this team sheet is Mbappe. I know Madrid didn't win the Champions League or the Copa del Rey, which is kind of what you expect from Real Madrid, but Kylian Mbappe scored, was it 66 goals in the calendar year? It was above 60, lower than Cristiano Ronaldo and Lewandowski's record of 69 in a year, but it's one of the greatest scoring years of all time. No doubt that's because a lot of games were played as well, I know that, but I think the way he started this season, yes, a lot of penalties, but he looks incredibly sharp, and I think back end of last season, you have Madrid to blame, not Mbappe. At the start of last season, yeah, Mbappe was a bit terrible. But no, he deserves a spot in here for sure. I do actually think he's been the best attacker. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I think, like, obviously, they're nominated for Team of the Year. All of these players had good years. We can rule out Alvarez, Anthony, Perez, Barcola, Benzema, Ronaldo. I think we can rule out Doué. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We'll narrow it down to Dembele, Haaland, Kane. I think we can narrow it down to just those three. Kvaratskhelia was good, but not been incredibly brilliant this season, so he doesn't get in there for me. If Lamine Yamal was counted as an attacker, I actually don't think Dembele gets into the Team of the Year. I know he won the Ballon d'Or, but he hasn't done anything this season. I know he's been injured, but come on. It's Team of the Year, not Team of the Season. That being said, he's still going to get in, and we're going to put him at right wing just because he used to play there. I don't really need to explain much about Dembele, do I? And then we've got the choice of Erling Haaland or Harry Kane. And you know what? This is so intense. I'm going to have to go blow my nose. I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but yeah, now I have a blood nose, so that's great. If my nose didn't sound blocked enough already, it is even more blocked now because there is a tissue shoved up there. What were we saying? The matchup between Erling Haaland and Harry Kane for the year, not the season. If we're talking about who's been better this season, it's really close, but I think you would have to edge it towards Haaland just because it's a more difficult league. And remember, I am a Bayern fan, so I'm not going to be biased towards Haaland. For the calendar year, though, Harry Kane has not been bad throughout any period. He's had slight spells where he wasn't scoring as much, but I think he has been a very good player throughout the whole year. He hasn't dropped below the very good bar. Whereas Haaland, I think a couple of times, second half of last season, so the start of this year, he did drop below that level. After that period where City were really bad, Haaland didn't exactly come back to firing form. I know it's crazy, but Haaland actually only had 22 Premier League goals last season. I know most players would be very happy with that, but most of those goals came within the first half of last season, not in the second half. So I think we have to go for Harry Kane here. And then who is most likely going to be the 12th man? It's not going to be a goalkeeper or a defender. It's probably going to be an attacker or a midfielder. From the attackers, the only one I could see getting voted in would be Haaland. I don't think anyone else here will be the 12th man unless the community just makes it be Ronaldo. Wasn't Ronaldo a team of the year last year? Or the year before? I don't even... Whatever. With regard to the midfielders, who could deserve a place here? Caicedo, Neves, McTominay... You know what? Rafinha, I could very easily see being the 12th man. Yeah, I think Rafinha or Erling Haaland are most likely to be the 12th man. But this is going to be my team of the year vote. Oh, hang on. What am I doing? Oh, choose captain. Oh, okay. So who has been the best player of 2025? We also have to do that. Ooh, that's a really tough question. I know the trophies, but I'm going to go with Mbappe. I am. For me, it's him or actually Lamine Yamal. Or Pedri. Oh, it could be Pedri, you know. No, I'm going to go with Mbappe. I'm going to be an attacker. That is my team of the year vote. Yeah, so most likely Rafinha or Haaland is the 12th man. Let me know what you guys voted for down below in the comments. I could see a lot of people not being happy with me putting Van Dijk in. I could see a lot of people thinking Mbappe or Kane potentially are wrong. But I think the rest of them deserve to be in here. If you don't think Pedri deserves to be in there and instead go for João Neves or something like that, I disagree with you. Actually, people will probably hate on me putting Gabriel in there just because he plays for Arsenal. But yeah, that's what I think. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'll probably be replying to comments because I have nothing better to do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.